The story introduces us to Emma, a school teacher who is looking forward to a long, peaceful vacation. While her students head off to relax, Emma plans to drive to her father's remote farm. She's trying to clear her head after a messy, painful breakup. Her boyfriend wasn't just unfaithful, he was violent. Emma is a woman who despises aggression. She wants a life of peace, far away from the temper and the pushing that defined her last relationship. Before she leaves, she's handed a camping backpack left behind at the school, a small detail that might just save her life later. As she hits the road, we see her father is a man of discipline. He tracks her progress with a timer, wanting to know exactly how long it takes his daughter to reach safety. But safety is the last thing Emma is heading toward. On the same desolate highway, a group of professional criminals is moving a massive shipment of illegal cargo. Their leader, a cold man known only as Bossman, runs a tight ship, but today there's a weak link. One of the drivers, Pete, is new to the game. He's nervous, sweating, and visibly shaking, a specialist who isn't ready for the pressure. When a local policeman pulls them over for a routine check, Pete's panic becomes a beacon. The officer instantly senses something is wrong. He ignores Bossman's excuses about moving to another city, and demands to see what's hidden in the back of the truck. The rest of the gang, watching from a second car, realizes the situation is spiraling out of control. They try to play it cool, attempting to distract the officer by asking for directions and making jokes, but this policeman is a professional. He isn't moving. He knows these men are hiding something dark, and he refuses to back down. As the tension on the side of the road reaches a breaking point, Emma is just miles away, pulled over to send a text, completely unaware that she is about to drive straight into a bloodbath. In the wilderness, there are no witnesses, only survivors. The standoff on the highway turns violent in an instant. Realizing the policeman won't be distracted, a man named Baz makes the first move, neutralizing the officer before he can draw his weapon. The gang throws the unconscious lawman into their car and speeds off to a secluded spot. They know they've crossed the point of no return. If the cop lives, they all go to prison. The gang pulls over in a desolate stretch of the wilderness to clean up the mess. Bossman is furious. He blames the entire situation on Pete's cowardice. To test the new recruit and ensure he's complicit in their crimes, Bossman hands Pete a gun. "He's seen our faces because of you," Bossman growls. "Now, you're the one who's going to end him." Pete, never having fired a weapon in his life, is a trembling mess. In a dark, sadistic display, the other goons start laughing. They set up target practice for him, telling him to shoot at a nearby stone before he puts a bullet in the policeman's head. Just a few hundred yards away, Emma is struggling with a broken radiator. Stranded without a cell signal, she hears the sharp crack of a gunshot. Thinking someone might be nearby to help, she grabs a glass water bottle and follows the sound, a decision that will change her life forever. She reaches the clearing just as Pete fires. The bullet hits the policeman in the shoulder, and the brutality of the scene hits Emma like a physical blow. In her shock, the glass bottle slips from her hand, shattering against the rocks. The sound is like a thunderclap in the silent desert. The goons spin around. They see her. Emma realizes in a heartbeat that she has just witnessed an attempted execution. She turns and bolts into the brush, her heart hammering against her ribs, but she is no match for a group of armed men. They hunt her down with terrifying speed, cornering her and dragging her back to the clearing. Now, Bossman doesn't just have one problem, he has two. And in his world, dead men and women tell no tales. With Emma captured, the gang reveals their true depravity. They decide that killing her quickly is a waste. One of the goons, a predator named Boila, suggests they have fun with her first. Bossman, cold as ever, agrees on one condition: whoever takes her first must be the one to finish her. They flip a coin to decide her fate, a chillingly casual way to handle a human life. Boila wins the toss, handcuffs Emma, and begins dragging her toward the brush. But the gang makes a fatal mistake. They underestimate their prey and their surroundings. The wounded policeman, having regained consciousness, sees his opening. He signals Emma to stay quiet, crawls into his vehicle, and floors it. The sudden roar of the engine sends the gang into a frenzy. Boila drops Emma to join the chase, accidentally losing his belt, which holds the handcuff keys, in the dirt. The escape is short-lived. Bossman isn't just a thug, he's a marksman. He pulls a sniper rifle from his trunk, takes a breath, and sends a single round through the policeman's head. The car veers off, the only hope for immediate rescue gone. Now, Emma is alone in the dirt, handcuffed and surrounded. But this is the moment the teacher disappears. She reaches for the belt, her mind flashing back to her father's lessons. We realize Emma wasn't just raised by anyone, she was raised by a man who taught her how to survive. She finds the key, unlocks the cuffs, and grabs a discarded knife. She doesn't panic. She moves with a new, tactical purpose. She reaches her car, grabs the camping backpack she was given at the school, and vanishes into the thick wilderness. When the gang returns to find their prize gone, the mood shifts from excitement to pure terror. Bossman knows the stakes. If she gets to a phone, we're dead. Find her. I want a body, not an excuse. Miles away, her father looks at his watch. The timer he set has run out. Emma is late. He stands on his porch, staring at the empty road, his internal alarm bells screaming. He knows his daughter, and he knows the dangers of the scrubland. The specialist's daughter is missing, and the hunt has officially begun. High in the rugged mountains, Emma finally stops to catch her breath. The non-violent teacher is gone. She is now a woman in survival mode. She dumps out the camping backpack, inventorying her tools like a specialist preparing for a mission. She knows the terrain is her only ally. Back at the road, the gang reaches her car. Bossman, showing his experience, doesn't just look for her, he looks for her identity. They find her papers and learn her name, but Bossman isn't distracted. He spots her footprints. She's an amateur, he sneers. Follow the tracks. But Emma isn't as green as they think. Realizing she's leaving a trail, she uses a classic counter-tracking maneuver her father taught her. She creates multiple sets of tracks leading in 3 different directions to sow confusion. While the killers are stalled, a local farmer, and a close friend of Emma's father, spots her abandoned car. He sees her name on the papers and realizes something is terribly wrong. He immediately calls her father. The countdown has ended. The father now knows his daughter is in danger. Stay there, he commands, his voice cold and focused. I'm coming. The gang reaches the point where Emma's tracks split. For a moment, she's outsmarted them. But Bossman is a professional. He refuses to play her game. He splits the 6 men into 3 teams of 2, equipped with radios. Whoever spots her, don't just shoot, call it in. We finish this together. Emma, exhausted and parched, finds a small watering hole. In her desperation to quench her thirst, she lets her guard down for a split second, and that's all a predator needs. From a distance, Bossman's binoculars lock onto her. He's found his prey. As Emma drinks, unaware of the crosshairs on her back, Bossman's companions reach for the radio to call in the rest of the pack. The trap is about to close, but Emma is about to find out exactly how much of her father's blood is in her veins. Boyla's arrogance becomes his first tactical error. When his partner tries to call the others on the radio, Boyla stops him. His depravity hasn't changed. He still wants to have fun with Emma before ending her life. He doesn't want to share his prize with the rest of the gang. They move in, thinking they are cornering a helpless teacher. The man with Bossman, Boyla, approaches Emma first. He takes her water, then turns his weapon on her, forcing himself onto her. But he forgets one thing. Emma was raised by a specialist. As he tries to overpower her, Emma doesn't freeze. She draws her knife and stabs Boyla with lethal precision. As he falls, her father's voice echoes in her head. Some people only understand death. Until they are gone, no one is safe. Back at the road, Emma's father arrives. He's not just a worried parent, he's an analyst. He looks at the tracks and immediately deciphers the situation. 6 men. 1 girl. He tells the farmer that while he trained Emma to be elite, her heart was always too kind. She once stopped hunting because she couldn't stand to see an animal suffer. His greatest fear isn't that she's weak, but that her mercy will get her killed. But Emma is already proving him wrong. Bossman's other partner realizes Boyla has gone silent. He sees Emma standing alone and panics, finally keying the radio to alert the entire gang. Emma doesn't wait to be surrounded. She grabs the dead man's walkie-talkie and bolts into the rugged terrain. As the gang closes in, Emma uses the radio to play a psychological game. She broadcasts a chilling warning. The police have been notified. You have 2 hours before this mountain is crawling with backup. Run now, or rot in a cell. It's a classic specialist move, sowing doubt in the enemy's mind to force them into making a mistake. Bossman screams into the radio, "No one is coming for you." But the seed is planted. Emma climbs higher into the rocks, leading the 5 remaining killers into her domain. She isn't just running anymore, she's leading them into a trap. High on the mountain, Emma uses the terrain as a weapon. She lures one of the goons into a narrow pass and drops a massive stone from above. He falls, and Emma descends to scavenge his gear. But she makes a rookie mistake. She assumes he's dead. The goon lunges, pinning her down and choking the life out of her. In a desperate struggle for her final breath, Emma reaches the gun and pulls the trigger. The crack of the shot echoes through the canyons, announcing her location and her lethality. Emma keys the stolen radio. "Only 4 of you left," she says, her voice cold and steady. "I'm waiting." The psychological toll is starting to break the gang. They are dehydrated, exhausted, and terrified. But Bossman is a specialist in cruelty. He refuses to let them retreat. He spots Emma in the distance and takes a long-range shot with his rifle. Emma falls, and the gang rushes forward, thinking the hunt is over. But it was a feint. Emma is already moving again, leading them deeper into the rocks. Bossman changes his tactics. He sets up a sniper overlook, using his rifle to pin Emma down while his remaining 3 men, including the cowardly Pete and the veteran Baz, advance on her position. Emma takes refuge in an abandoned mountain shack. She finds a rusted iron dagger, a primitive but effective tool. When Baz enters the house, Emma doesn't hesitate. She strikes from the shadows, neutralizing him instantly. Outside, Pete freezes. He's paralyzed by fear, but Bossman screams over the radio, "Get in there or I'll kill you myself." Pete enters the house and finds himself at the end of Emma's blade. He breaks down, sobbing, "I'm not like them. I never wanted to hurt you." For a moment, the teacher in Emma returns. She sees his genuine terror and lets him go. It is her first and last mistake of the night. As soon as Pete reaches the sunlight, he betrays her, screaming her location to the others. Emma's mercy vanishes. She hurls the iron dagger with perfect precision, burying it in Pete's back. He falls dead in the dirt, a reminder that in this game, there are no innocent bystanders. Bossman calls out for Baz, but there is no answer. The silence from the house is deafening. He realized he is losing his men to a woman he thought was a victim. He is no longer hunting a teacher, he is hunting a legend. Emma is alone in the shadows of the mountain shack. Only 2 predators remain, the veteran killer Baz and the cold-blooded Bossman. Baz enters the house first. He's a mountain of a man, and he quickly overpowers Emma, pinning her to the ground with a gun to her head. But Emma has learned that a specialist's greatest weapon isn't a gun, it's the enemy's own mind. She strikes at his ego. "You're going to kill a girl with a gun," she sneers. "If you're a real man, put the weapon down and see if you can handle me." Baz's fragile masculinity snaps. He throws his gun aside, snarling that a woman's place is in the kitchen. He begins to beat her mercilessly. Emma is weakened, suffering from the effects of the tainted mountain water she drank, but she uses his overconfidence against him. As Baz leans in for the final blow, Emma finds a heavy metal object. She doesn't just hit him, she unleashes all her bottled-up rage, striking him until his skull is crushed. Baz is gone. Now, only the Bossman remains. As Emma limps out of the house, Bossman is waiting, his rifle leveled at her chest. He's seen his entire crew dismantled by a schoolteacher, and he's finally feeling the pressure. Emma offers him the same challenge. Bossman, arrogant to the end, agrees to a classic gun duel. He thinks he's the fastest draw in the territory. What Bossman doesn't know is that Emma wasn't raised to be a victim. Her father was elite military, and he spent years training her for this exact moment. The game starts. Bossman draws, but Emma is a ghost. She fires both of her weapons. A bullet tears into her shoulder, but her shots are fatal. Bossman falls dead in the dirt, his reign of terror ended by the woman he thought was prey. Exhausted, bleeding, and broken, Emma begins the long walk down the mountain. In the distance, she sees a familiar figure. Her father is there. He doesn't see a helpless daughter, he sees the warrior he raised. They embrace in the middle of the wasteland, the nightmare finally over. In the hospital, Emma reflects on her journey. She has finally understood the true nature of violence, that it is a curse, but sometimes, it is the only way to protect the innocent. She even finds the strength to send a final message to her past, closing the door on her old life with the wisdom of a woman who has walked through fire. Emma started the day as a teacher and ended it as a legend. She proved that when you push a peaceful person too far, you might just find a specialist waiting on the other side. If you enjoyed this breakdown of Hunting Emma, make sure to smash that like button. Subscribe to Cinemaned for more stories of survival and tactical mastery. Until next time, stay sharp.